Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to this Island Shuffle of ours. We call it the Island Shuffle because it's the show where we watch the show
We
Lost.
watched the show Lost.
It's a television show about a plane that crashed on an island, and the island's so crazy.
It's sort of like Gilligan's Island,
Mhm.
but this one has a heaven and hell element.
Have you ever seen any second of Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, a really long time ago.
Okay,
Like
because
15 years ago.
Okay, that's one of those things that I only know through like osmosis, just
Mhm.
from it being referenced in things and such. I have never even really understood what. Like, I know the premise is like it's a 3-hour tour, but then they get stranded, and
I know how long the tour was supposed to be.
that part is.
I know that it was much longer.
That part is drilled into my head for some reason, but anything beyond that, I have no idea.
There's the doctor, or
Okay.
the captain, or whatever. There's Gilligan.
Sure.
There's, that's all I remember. I don't remember liking it, actually. I don't remember disliking it.
Okay.
Very hazy here.
When was it from? Is what I'd like to know.
It's like, I feel like it's late 70s, early 80s. Sort of.
Okay.
Maybe mid 80s,
I'm
maybe late 80s, early mid,
Yeah.
roughly.
Okay. I'm not expecting you to be a historian on this. I just bring this up because I was thinking about old TV, and I was thinking about how the oldest show I've ever watched, like committed to like watching most of, is like Twin Peaks. I think.
Oh,
like the
yeah.
original Twin Peaks.
That's not that old.
That's not
like
that old.
92?
Yeah, that's actually not in my life, not before I was alive, but still like 90, 91.
I'm not sure if I watched an older show, though. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like TV ages rapidly.
I think TV doesn't age very well. I vaguely remember trying to watch like an old episode of Cheers and being like, well, this is unwatchable. But this was also like several years ago that I attempted this. I'm very like I'm fascinated by it just because it's like such a like, I don't know, like there's so much of it, and how much like there's got to be something to some of it, right? I don't know.
I imagine there's something to some of it.
I don't know.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that there's nothing to none of it, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. There's so much media now that's not like, oh man, I'm starving, I better go fucking watch all of Gilligan's Island, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really something I'll ever try to do.
Yeah, definitely not. But it'll always be in the back of my head as something.
As
there.
long as you know how long the tour was,
Exactly.
I think that's the real trivia piece.
Mm-hmm.
That being said,
we are watching a television show,
and it's not
It's not
from before
Yeah.
1991.
It's not even from
So much
before
later.
2003.
When did it start? 2004?
2004.
That's really funny. So it's from 2004.
Yes, it's from
This
2004.
specific episode from 2005, baby.
Yeah, 2005.
Season number 2.
Episode number 9. If it wasn't,
Truly?
by the way, if we didn't mention this before, I think we forgot to introduce ourselves. I'm Bean
I'm
Levier,
James Brown.
and this is a show where we watch Lost out of order. We choose a random episode every week, and this week it's season 2, episode 9.
And this is right around where Lost is pretty good.
Yeah, Lost is pretty good right now. It's not bad. It's definitely. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this episode, I think.
It was, so what type of world are we talking here? Lost at this point is all about the Dharma Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
They just introduced, this is mid-season 2,
Yeah.
so they just introduced the tail section of the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are basically, that's all that's going on.
Exactly. Outside of the like, what's this? Why is everybody pressing this button?
Yeah.
And these new characters that have been introduced, it's pretty, classic, just kind of people living their life on an island and being haunted by their pasts.
Yeah, exactly, which is great, and it works really well. And it's interesting, and I feel like the more basic this show was, the better it was.
I think that is not a wrong assessment of the show. That said, there are definitely some I don't think we've watched any any episodes from season 1 or 2 that were like explicitly bad yet. They were all pretty good.
Are we gonna get there?
I feel like there has to have been at least 1 or 2.
They were off the mark. We had a mid-season 3 that was just
that was a total stinker.
way.
That was a worthless one.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
When the show was still like supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, we're talking mid-season 2, so let's just focus on what the heck is going on this
Let's
episode.
just focus on season 2, episode 9, which is called
What Kate Did. Kate
what
Austin.
did she do?
What'd she do? She murdered.
Stone Cold Kate Austin.
Stone Cold Kate Austin committed a explosion on her abusive stepfather.
It was sad. Also, that brings up the question that we will later explore.
Yes.
Is it her stepfather?
Oh, is it?
The mystery reigns.
The mystery reigns.
But yeah, so her stepfather was a real piece of shit.
Yeah, we only see him for one scene, and in that scene, he drunk drives home, openly like flirts with his stepdaughter, and like
is it his stepdaughter? We'll get there later.
We'll get there later. And then like forcibly like grabs her, and it's pretty heavily implied, if not outright stated, that he is like abusing his mother, her mother,
Kate's mother, his wife.
Yes. And that scene ends, and Kate tucks him into bed, and scoots off on his motorcycle, and the house blows up.
Yeah. Honestly, Kate, good on you.
Yeah. As far as like murders that we've seen on this show, that's definitely one of the most justified murders I've seen.
I think she had the best murder on this show.
Yeah, so far, I think.
She had, like, what other murders have we seen? Sawyer's sort of sucked because he just killed the wrong person.
Yeah, Sawyer's was just he was getting played. Carl and Danielle got murdered last episode, and that was and that was not a very good murder at all. That was just kind of senseless.
Those were bad murders, really bad murders. They were like cool, nice people.
Yeah, exactly. Unlike the stepdad who we see and immediately think, hope this guy dies, and then he dies
that's
immediately.
A bad guy.
Yeah. Okay, so let me take a look at my notes, because this is one of those episodes that the flashbacks, as you can probably glean, are pretty important. This is the kind of the whole, up until now we don't know why exactly Kate is a fugitive in the story, but now we do.
Because she killed her stepdad.
Was it her stepdad? Was it her
We'll
stepdad?
get to it.
We'll get there. So she slinks off over to the diner where her mom works, and she's all distraught.
I like that. She gets on her motorcycle and immediately starts slinking. Like, the way you can only slink after committing a murder.
Yeah.
The type of, like, hurried, low-to-the-ground slink that...
that only a motorcycle allows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
it'll make you slink twice before you cross her again.
Oh, boy.
That joke slinks.
Rule of threes, baby.
Okay. There's a great little scene at the start where the waitress says to Kate, "Can I get you anything to drink?"
Yeah.
And then Kate says, "A beer."
Yeah.
And then the waitress says, "Can I see some ID?" And then Kate says, "I'm 24, Mom."
Yep.
And it's like, this is all the precursor to you telling your mom that you just killed her husband.
Yeah, this is just that classic mother-daughter banter.
Yeah.
Like, but after that little kind of goofy banter, she doesn't fully come clean, but she says, like, "I took out a house insurance policy in your name. Here it is." And Mom's like, "What do you mean? What did you do, Kate? Catherine, what did you do?" And she's just like, "Don't worry." She's just like, "Don't worry about it. I did it for you. Bye." And it's a sad scene.
If there's ever been an appropriate time to use someone's full name as a way to chastise someone, which is a popular cultural thing, of course, like she uses the name Catherine, I think it is very appropriate right after someone commits murder.
Yeah, absolutely. If
you can full name them.
Yeah, absolutely. James Henry Brownathan.
Oh my God! Not a lot of people know that my last name is actually a derivative of Jonathan.
Well, I did my research.
Yeah, Henry is another one that not even my closest family knows about that one.
The forbidden middle name.
Exactly, the forbidden name. Where's 2 more? Rule of 3s.
Oh boy.
So yeah, she leaves.
Yeah, she leaves. What's the next? I think this is an episode worth just diving into the flashbacks head first.
Yeah, because that's what the episode is all about.
That's
the
all
other
about
shit is sort of actually there's a little bit of a storyline with like the hatch, but also half of the current day things are just directly related to the flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of it is Kate being haunted by her past, and then you have a couple of minor plots about there's a funeral going on also. There's some stuff. We can dive deeper into that a little bit later. I would like to get the flashes back out of the way. What is the next? I think the next scene we see is her trying to get a ticket to Tallahassee.
That is exactly it.
And she's just trying to buy. She's all frantic. And behind her, a dude is just like, "Oh, Tallahassee, you're going to Tallahassee. I'm just going to be a chatty guy."
He pulled a funny line that I'm sure is the most generic thing in the world. But he was like, "Oh, I spent a week there one night." It's like, oh.
Yeah, nothing but Waffle Houses and something else.
Yeah, a week there one night. Yeah. Clever, awful man.
Clever, awful man. And then this awful man turns out is actually a police officer.
Oh, baby. He's with the FBI.
Yes. And
the Federal Bureau of I.
And he arrests Kate and says, "We found you because your mom ratted you out."
Oh, yeah. That's sort of... Yeah,
that's
mom,
but mom.
Yeah, it's sort of Kate's own doing, really.
Yeah,
it's like if Kate just did it and sort of left, or even like visited her mom one last time, but didn't tell her about the whole thing, she could have gotten away.
Yeah, there's a lot of. We've talked about like the last time we talked about Kate, it was how she didn't do taco night. And we talked about how by that point her story kind of just felt like absurd and bloated and stuff. This is not quite that. This is
definitely not that.
This is like a pretty. It feels fairly grounded in reality.
Yeah.
In a way that is, compelling to watch, and you're just like, oh man, Kate was in a tough position, and it's not easy committing murder. It's not easy living with an abuser and all that.
No,
don't really have any jokes about that.
No, no. We'll just leave that where it is and continue talking about the show.
Absolutely, my favorite television show, Lost.
Just leave. Let the truth speak for itself.
Exactly. Hey, sometimes you just gotta drop a truth bomb or two, as this show does.
Occasionally, once a season.
Does once a season. So Kate and her captor are driving off. You know, as you do when you are arresting your high-profile murder target.
Yeah,
you let them ride shotgun.
He let her ride shotgun. It was a bad call.
Not a smart call.
You shouldn't let your high-profile murder captive ride shotgun.
And the captor is grilling her and being like, why'd you do it? Blah blah blah. And Kate's like, you don't know me. Blah blah blah. Typical, as you can imagine the dialogue for yourself.
You can just imagine.
You just imagine it. It's like he gives her like the classic dressing down, oh, this is a here, like the classic kind of like exposition-y, like, oh, classic farm town girl that grows up on a farm and mom divorces and marries an asshole. Do. And I don't know why whenever I run out of things to like I realize that whenever I like impersonated a character and then I run out of things to say, I always cap it off with a little doot. As if every character.
Well, that was that character didn't do it, but like John Locke is oftentimes he'll go off on a tangent about destiny and like, this is my destiny. You can't tell me what to do.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Ah, dude.
That also made me think of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Title sequence wherein a voice goes, "It's time to duel."
So I didn't know that, actually. I've seen probably an episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. It's been a while.
Worth revisiting.
Really?
Not really. But like if you're like if you're just like bored on Netflix with a handful of friends and enough people are like, remember Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, fuck yeah. It's like a good like, oh yeah, this show's fucking bananas.
This was real.
Yeah.
Like this was really
Yeah.
a mainstream thing.
This was
for
a
while.
real popular thing. Kids had Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It was real deal.
I had a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Hell yeah, you had a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I don't think I had any cards per se, but I did follow the show.
You good?
But
Good shit.
good shit. I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but not as much as I love Lost. So as they're talking, Kate, not Kate, the driver ends up crashing the car.
Because a deer runs in front of the car.
No. No deer.
No deer?
It is not a deer.
What is it?
It is a...
Oh, it's a horse.
It's a horsey. It's a black horse.
Black horse.
And Kate manages to escape, kicks the car out, takes a look at the horse and goes, that's some kind of omen, and then scoots off.
There's a really, really, really good album by Nickelback called Dark Horse.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
It has a horseshoe on the cover.
Oh,
and
man.
I don't know what hits are on it, but I might Google it.
You should probably Google the track listing for Dark Horse.
So let's see what Nickelback Dark Horse is all about.
So
what
my
songs
question,
do you think are going to be on?
what
What is your question?
That's a question. That's like, I'm gonna put my money on. Hey, I want to be a rock star. That's them, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
is.
Okay,
We all want to be big rock stars.
Okay.
The first song is called "Something in Your Mouth."
Oh, no.
Shit. I don't. Holy shit! There's a song on here. Track number 10, coming in at 3 minutes and 55 seconds. It's just called S.E.X.
Hell yeah, boys! I love the band Nickelback. Honestly, give me my Nickelback. They ain't worth a nickel. That's what I say.
They worth at least $50. All right, this is.
I can't. Don't tell me you're looking up the
This
song
is
S.E.
Nickelback.
Please don't.
Coming in
No.
with, it's not available.
No.
The video is not available.
No.
Okay, we're done. We're done.
All
That
right.
happened.
That's good.
That's sort of incredible,
This is-
though.
this
They
is-
have a song called S.E.X. and they
tell,
did
Tell me that X also has a dot. Tell me that's a.
I think it did. I think I would have noticed if it didn't.
Yeah,
but
of course.
let's just verify real quick.
Also, wouldn't mind learning what that acronym stands for.
I know, me too. I bet it stands for sex. It does have a dot.
Okay, thank goodness. I can rest easy.
It was released November 18th, 2008.
Whoa.
And honestly, it could have been released earlier, but not a day later.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And S.E.X is one of only 3 songs on this 11-song album that does not have its own Wikipedia article.
Are there any hits on this one?
I assume there's...
Because I'm not recognizing any of these titles.
I think the number 1 hit on this album is probably the Walmart exclusive bonus track titled This Afternoon.
That tracks. Oh boy.
Oh my god. Gotta Be Somebody looks to be, it's the first official single from the album.
Okay.
Dark.
I was going to be in my heart of hearts I mixed that up with You Somebody by Kings of Leon and I was like, what? Okay. Anyways,
Yes.
so Kate sees the album Dark Horse by Nickelback and on the
It's so terrifying
And she-
that it causes a car crash.
she goes oh, S.E.X. Oh no, I got to get out of here.
That reminds me that I have something to do later tonight.
I think the final the final scene of Kate's flashback I think is she goes to visit her real dad who is an army recruiting officer. And they have kind of a heart to heart and he's like, is it true what they're saying about you? And she's like, afraid so. Also, guess what? I was going through pics and you were in Korea until 5 months or so.
4 months before I was born.
Yes, 4 months before I was born. That means this guy was my dad. Why didn't you tell me? And her dad says, her dad says, because I knew you'd kill him.
What the fuck, Dad?
Hey, Dad.
this, like, Kate had, to this point, it is already established that to this point she has no criminal history. She has nothing. And her dad very confidently says, like, I knew you would murder this man.
Yes.
And it's like, what the fuck was Kate's life like?
Apparently, it's implied that it was pretty shitty.
Uh-huh.
To be fair, both mom, dad, and the captor all seem to paint a very rough picture of Kate's home life pre this episode.
Uh-huh. I'm also interested in what did she display that made her father so certain that she was a murderer.
Yeah. I feel like there's like that's kind of a
Was she like the girl like killing cats when she was 8 years old?
Yeah, stepping on putting magnifying glass to ants and stuff.
Yeah. That sort of confused me that her dad was just like, oh, and then Kate asks her dad, why didn't you murder him? And then he's like, because I don't have murderer inside me or something. What does he say exactly?
I don't have murder in my heart.
I don't have murder in my heart. Firstly, you're in the army.
Yeah, you're in the soldier. You're a soldier. You have to use like, I know, like, that it's a different circumstance, but, like, you have to at least be, like, somewhat at peace with that, right?
Yeah, one would assume.
I also don't love the, like, the implication of just, like, well, if you're in an abusive household, only way out is murder, I'm afraid.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, and that's why it's sort of confusing for me as to why the father was so certain that she was going to murder if she found out this information. It's like, many people have been in many number of bad situations and I would not be able to reasonably say about anyone that they will definitely kill another person.
Yeah, of course. I don't know why you imagine holding a baby and being like, this one's got murder in its heart.
Yeah, like,
you can have her.
There's just this really bizarre assumption made by Kate's father, which is he her father? Well, I guess we know at this point that he isn't really.
Yeah, we've established now that no, stepdad was real dad, in fact.
And then I guess the other thing about that whole tangent is like, how did he get this ability? Because he was absolutely right.
Yeah,
she did just go and murder him.
He can just prophesize murder.
I wish we saw the murder prophet.
I wish we saw more of Kate's army dad in future flashbacks. I feel like this is his only time popping up.
Yeah,
because I would have loved for it to have turned out that like his ability to sense murder is some kind of like linchpin in the God versus evil whatever thing.
That would have been incredible,
right?
That would have been so incredible.
Yeah, imagine the season 6 that just like cashes in on all the like shit and just goes
all the
full
tiny fucking things.
Yeah, and just goes full like apocalyptic. But anyways, we're not talking season 6.
We're not talking season 5.
We're talking season 2. Anyways, one final thing I want to mention about this scene that struck me, and I mentioned this to you at the time that we were watching, but I want to bring it up because I don't understand it and I need explanations. Kate says to his army dad, you were in Korea until 4 months before I was born. And I assumed that meant him being in the army, the Korean War.
That was my initial assumption, and I guess he was just stationed there on. I guess like the States have bases in every country in the entire world.
They do. I suppose that it is possible that like they do have bases in all over the place. So maybe he just was stationed in South Korea during peacetime or something.
But
right?
It was sort of a weird, exactly.
Yeah, my assumption.
It was a weird one to bring up.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when I think you were in Korea, my assumption is you were in the Korean War.
Exactly.
And
whenever
then,
you're talking to an army man.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I just watched too much Mad Men or MASH or
the movie Gran Torino.
Yes, all involving the Korean War.
Hey, have you watched too much MASH? Because I think that is pre-1991. Well, I know it is.
Well, I haven't. That's another thing that I tried because fucking MASH. Everybody not everybody, but like that's one of those things that everybody talks
about.
It's
a big show.
It's a big show. Tried watching it back in the day, was unwatchable.
What about the A-Team?
That I have never watched an episode of.
Mr. T's in that.
He sure is.
God bless him.
Bless Mr. T.
So that was a bizarre thing to toss out.
The reason I bring that up is because if he was in the Korean War, that makes the plane crashes in 2004. The Korean War ended in 1953. At the time of the show, Kate would be 50 years old.
Which I think that is really great.
I think that's my new the headcanon. That's my new headcanon for Kate. She is indeed 50 years old. She's just a great looking 50-year-old fugitive murderer.
Yeah, I mean excitement makes the heart grow younger. That's what McCain magazine said.
John McCain's personal magazine.
John McCain's personal magazine.
Oh man.
The slogan is excitement makes the heart grow younger. And that's why he looked so youthful. Oh my God.
Oh,
he's not that cool a man.
No, he's not
very good.
He's not that great.
Yeah, I don't like him. His
magazine though, the articles. Every issue of McCain's magazine has like a full spread of McCain.
It is, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big section devoted to its founder.
Oh man, I hope he doesn't pass away before this episode comes out.
True.
That's a real possibility.
Well. Oh well.
Oh well. Them's the breaks.
Is that the end of the flashbacks?
That's the end of the flashbacks.
It was a pretty good one. It was that was one of the best flashback sequences we've seen, actually.
I would agree. Like we were ragging on like the whole like silliness of like the like murder in her heart or whatever. But like outside of that, it was like a pretty like compelling watch. Kate acts her ass off.
Yeah.
Like she's always on the verge of tears, and even on the island, she kind of has like she seems out of sorts, but not in a way that is like melodramatic or like over the top. At least it didn't seem like to me.
This is an episode where maybe the first example that we've seen thus far where they did a really good job of matching the moods in the flashbacks and the present day sequences, and especially with the character that's most involved. It's like her emotions were sort of consistent regardless of what time it was at.
Yes.
And she was sort of re-experiencing these flashbacks with us.
Exactly.
And it's like, so whenever you would go back to the present day and see her again, it was like you could tell that she was dealing with all of these things that we were seeing. Yeah,
it felt coherent in a way that I'm not used to Lost being.
Yeah, exactly. So that was plus, her flashback story was just compelling. It was interesting. Yeah. It dealt with some very serious subject matter, and I think did an okay job at that.
For sure, yeah.
And it didn't just fucking suck like some of them.
Absolutely, yeah. It wasn't a complete waste of time for sure, which is also
they didn't toss in the hand on this
one. Her on-island plot is that she goes to. She sees the very same Dark Horse, the very same copy of Nickelback's Dark Horse that caused her crash.
This one actually is a little bit different. So the other one was the standard version. I think this one on the island was bought at Walmart, so it has the Walmart exclusive
bonus track, and that's why she had so much trouble recognizing it at first.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, "Is that the same copy of Nickelback's Dark Horse I'm used to seeing?"
I'm gonna have to retag my whole iTunes library now.
Yeah.
Lost. So she's haunted by this what seems to be a vision. She also Sawyer's down in the hatch and is sick for reasons I kind of forget. And
because the raft blew up.
That's right, because the raft blew up. So Sawyer's down there and he's in no state, and everybody's kind of taking turns taking care of him. Kate's taking care of him, just kind of chatting to him, and Kate eventually Sawyer kind of starts mumbling, and he gets closer, and what he's mumbling is, "Why'd you kill me?" And then he yells at, "Why'd you kill me?
Why'd you kill me?"
And then the next time we see Kate, she's freaked out. She's out. She talks to Charlie and is like, "Hey, Charlie, do you think there are horses on this island?" And Charlie's just like, I don't know. There's a bunch of crazy shit on this island."
Yeah.
And then Kate just kind of fucks off. And
that was a really succinct description of that scene. Where it's like, I thought Charlie was just super unhelpful.
Charlie is not helpful at all. Charlie's just like, "Hey, the funeral happened. You missed it. It was crazy." Like he's just rambling at her, as Charlie does.
And then she's like, "Do you think there are horses on this island?" And he's like, "There's polar bears. There's a smoke monster." But I feel like he's never like, "No, Kate, you're not crazy. There probably was a horse."
Yeah.
He's never like, "Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if there were horses here." He's more like, "Don't ask me."
Yeah, just like, I don't know. I'm just the man with a guitar.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
likes to talk.
Fair. That is, you can totally play that card, Charlie, because you are not very smart.
Yes, you do like to play the guitar, though.
I did learn. I think I heard Oasis's Wonderwall for the first time coming from Charlie's mouth.
Yep,
that's real.
That makes perfect sense. He does sing it, doesn't he?
He sings it
my God.
on the streets of London.
Oh my God, he does.
And I was like, that's a great song.
That is the funniest shit ever.
Yeah.
He doesn't sing it in this episode, though.
Unfortunately, we'll get there.
We'll get there, maybe, someday. And so Kate is all distraught in the jungle. Jack eventually finds him and is like, "I just went down to the hatch and Sawyer was just on the ground and the button was beeping. What the heck's wrong?" And Kate's just like, "But I don't know. I think I'm good." And then ends up like she's like they end up kind of having like argument, and Jack's just kind of like concerned, but like yelling as Jack does.
Yeah.
Jack's just like, he's just like, "Are you okay? Like you left Sawyer. Like what's wrong?" And Kate starts kind of just screaming back and being like, "Sorry, I can't be perfect like you, Jack." And then starts kind of crying, and one thing leads to another, and then they start smooching, and it's kind of an awkward smooch that has ominous music over it.
A really weird, confused makeout sesh with some really daunting music that doesn't amount to anything. It's the daunting music doesn't really need to be there.
Yeah, it's super weird, but it's meant to be super weird. It's not meant to be like, this is whoa, look at these cutie pies.
Yeah,
it's
not like the end of the will they, won't they sort of.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. It's like, oh, this is a character who's messed up. Yeah. And she ends up fleeing. And
she ends up slinking away.
Slinking away, as she does. And I think she ends up going to Shannon's grave. One plot in this episode that we should cover. Shannon, Saeed's girlfriend, is buried. Sister of Boone, also deceased. And
may he rest in peace.
May he rest in pieces. And Saeed has a funeral for her, and he's all also busted up. He's all, "Oh, I loved her. I'm sad."
He gives a a minute and a half long speech where I think he finishes one complete sentence.
I mean, it's tough, you know.
It's true. Yeah.
This was back when death was treated as like something serious that you should be haunted by and have emotional consequences.
Yeah.
Rather than something you can do to get rid of extras.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's completely true. That's completely true. People's death actually has ripples within the community at this point still.
Anyways, the funeral happens. While the funeral's happening, Kate's downstairs with Sawyer, down in the hatch with Sawyer. Anyways, Kate goes to Shannon's grave, and Saeed comes over and says hey, and they get starting to chat, and Kate says, "Sorry, I didn't make the funeral. Also, hey, do you I think I might be going crazy, but do you believe in ghosts, Saeed?" And Saeed responds awesomely by saying, "Before Shannon got shot, I saw Walt in the jungle. Does that make me crazy?" And he does it, and he delivers it so earnestly that it's just like, I don't know if it does, Saeed.
Saeed, I trust you.
It's also a much more, as inscrutable as it is, it's a much more helpful response than Charlie's.
Yeah, Charlie's fucking sucks.
Kate ends up going. The finale of Kate's thing is he goes back down to Sawyer, and he goes. She goes like, I don't know if you're really in there, stepdad, but you asked me why I killed you, and I didn't kill you because you abused me and my mom, and I didn't kill you because you're a drinker and all that. I killed you because I knew you were a part of me, and I couldn't bear the thought of that living in my life. She says it more eloquently than that, but like it's a pretty like I don't know what I want to call that scene, but it's a good one.
It's a pretty good one. There's it's a bit of an emotional climax for Kate in the show, and it's also sort of interesting to have her delivering that to Sawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way, that was a sort of fun thing that they did that sort of worked.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of the like, whoa, are there ghosts on the island? If as like a is the island haunted? Doesn't really work, but as a like this character's got to deal with some shit device. Yeah. It really fucking works. As with another similar episode I was thinking of was the one where we watched where Sawyer fights the boar.
Yeah.
And it's just Sawyer fighting a boar and being haunted by his murder also.
That episode is anything but a bore.
Now! Ooh.
Wow!
What did
Grandson, what are you doing over there? Oh, go away, Grandma. Get out of here.
You gotta put a lock on this door or something.
So then what happens? Sawyer wakes up.
Sawyer wakes up and
he's like, "Who's Wayne?
Who's Wayne?" And they have her like reaction changes from like this like grief-stricken like haunted by what she's done trauma to like immediately all smiles.
Yeah.
Which like sure. I buy that. I like Sawyer too.
I smiled when Sawyer woke up.
Yeah, exactly.
The main character is back. She's like, I don't have to fucking drag the whole show along with me. Yeah,
finally you can take this emotional weight off my shoulders. And they kind of stagger out of the hatch, and they both see the horse. Sawyer says, "Yep, there's definitely a horse there." And Kate walks up and pets the horse, and the horse goes off. And now Kate's maybe just a little more at peace with what she done did.
And that is the end of Kate's story.
That's the end of Kate's story. There's still one more like plot of
bit of
interest.
A plot going on. There's another minor
plot.
A big plot.
So
it's a big little plot.
So Michael is down in the hatch, and so's Locke. They're hanging out, and Michael's just like, "What the heck are you pushing this button for?" And Locke says, "Let me show you a little movie." And he plays a film strip that they found earlier that basically explains the whole deal with the button. You know, push it every 108 minutes, take shifts. What you're doing is important. You don't want to have another incident happen. All the 9 yards. Echo tags along as well. Remember Echo?
Echo
tags along and watches the film. And Michael when Michael kind of starts to immediately be like, "Well, what do you mean? That didn't seem that clear to me." And Locke's just like, "Well, it seemed pretty clear to me. What do you think, Echo?" Echo just silently stands up, slowly walks out of the room. It's really good.
Echo is just so incredibly mysterious all the time. It's really great.
It owns. I love Echo.
And then so a little bit later, so Michael and Locke are at the computer. Locke is explaining to him again what they do, literally showing him how it works.
Yeah, he's like, "Nope, can't tap this keyboard until 4 minutes before the timer goes up." Because Michael's like, "Hey, can I check out all these weird?" Because it's like one of those like big it's like a lot of old 70s sci-fi. Like there's like a big like reel-to-reel sort of looking thing. Yeah. Like big cabinet looking things, a lot of switches, lights going off.
One of those computers that takes up a room.
Yeah. And Michael fucks off, and and Echo says, "Hey, Locke, come take a look at this." And they sit down, and Echo starts telling this whole story about how the Old Testament was discovered.
This like 18-minute story that really it can be summed up in this. "Hey, I found something that you might want to watch."
Yeah, instead he says, he says, back in the day, they were trying to build a temple, so they sent a bunch of gold to the people. But then, when they came back with no gold, they ended up coming back with a book instead. And that book, you and I know, is the Old Testament. And he doesn't say it that fast because he says it in that like slow Nigerian drawl.
Yeah,
and
really methodical and a very priestly, like very, very well thought out.
Yeah,
Echo is a very serious man.
He's a very serious man. He's a man of the cloth.
He's a man of the cloth. Let's get one thing clear, okay?
And he passes Locke a book. Inside that book is a Bible. Inside that Bible is a film strip that also features the buddy's face. So they splice in the missing film, and then they watch it, and what they learn is don't use the computer. It's the guy saying, like, don't use the computer for anything other than the button. It's only to be used for the button. Don't use it for any communication, anything else. Nothing. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
And the final scene is Michael poking around in the computer.
He's messing with the computer. He's trying to use it for things that aren't pushing the button.
He's tugging on wires. He's just kind of looking curious. And he sees a prompt on the screen that says, hello, ? And then blinking cursor. So he decides to sit down and have a little AIM chat session.
Do you want to act out the chat session? I'll be the first person.
Okay.
Hello?
Ticka, 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 ticka. Hey there.
Who are you?
Ticka, 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 ticka. Well, ticka, 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 ticka. My name, ticka, 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 is Michael. Ticka, 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 ticka. Who is this?
Walt. Or no, he doesn't say Walt. He says, Dad?
And then, da-da-da-da-da. And then the last thing we see is zoom in on Dad, ? And then lost.
Dad? Implying that Walt is on the other side of the computer somewhere that should not be used for communication.
Exactly. Implying that, like, Walt lives in the computer now.
I like the idea that Walt is just literally trapped inside of the computer.
Yeah, Walt is logged on.
That's very, like, Stranger Things, like, fucking Eleven is living in a box now where...
Exactly.
Waffles are delivered.
Yeah.
Do you get where I'm going?
I do. Yeah, it's very
living in the other world somewhere and can only communicate through this tiny box.
Yeah, that's something I would not. That's an angle I wouldn't mind going. I definitely wish. There's a part of me that wishes Lost was like just a touch crazier.
Yeah,
because you always see hints of like something bananas going on, and I just wish that it was like. Just a little more bananas, and that we got like at least an episode or two that were just like fucking full on wacky ass crazy.
Yeah, I agree completely.
But anyways, that's not the kind of show this is.
At this point, they're pretty committed to like slight realism, which I mean, and it's weird how even like in season 6 when it's all heaven or hell, they still won't own up to like this is like a crazy sci-fi show.
That's exactly
or anything. They're still like, no, it can all be explained. Like, don't worry.
Yeah.
Or like it's all very.
That's exactly it. It's like a show that has by season 6, it feels like it has its toe in the water. Yeah. But it doesn't want to dive all the way in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I keep bringing up season 5, but in season 5 feels like where they really did the most diving in because that's the time travel season.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is that the season that had Cop Sawyer?
No, season 6 had Cop Sawyer.
Okay, wow.
So, and that's another. Anyways, this is. We'll get to season 5 and 6. Season 2.
We still haven't seen season 5.
We still haven't, and I really want to, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
13 episodes now.
16 actually.
What?
Oh, you mean we've watched 13
yeah,
episodes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you mean there's 16 episodes in season 5?
Yes.
That's really bizarre because there's actually, if you take away 5 from 16, which season 5 has 16 episodes, so 16 minus 5, you get 11, and that is the number of tracks on Nickelback's Dark Horse.
Oh my God! Wow, it all comes together. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Shoot. I was ready to wrap up, but there's one thing I forgot about.
Ooh. We got a bonus.
We got one more scene that I think is worth absolutely mentioning, which is Ana Lucia, classic season 2 character, sitting on the beach sharpening sticks, being sad, because she murdered Shannon by accident. And Jack comes over with 2 little airport-sized bottles of tequila. And he's like, could probably use a drink. And Ana Lucia says, what, are you going to try to convince me that the whole camp doesn't hate me? And Jack says, okay, I got to make sure I get this right, because it's a hell of a thing to say to another woman.
Yeah.
Jack says, only if you're not going to try to convince me that every woman is crazy.
That every woman isn't crazy.
I might have mixed up my negatives there.
Uh-huh.
But you get the picture. Just some... hey, Jack, I get that you're confused that your girlfriend kissed you in a weird circumstance, but also...
Jack's getting a little angsty. Every woman is crazy. It's like,
also,
Jack, you can't make generalizations like that. You're bad. You're a bad doctor, idiot.
Also, how can I serve up for you a little plate of some false equivalency? Hey, I am uncomfortable being among this group of people because I accidentally murdered one of them, and their funeral was earlier today. Well, women, am I right? A lady smooched me, and it was kind of weird. She was going through some stuff. I don't know. Well, let's drink to that, I guess.
That's incredible.
That's really...
It was truly, yeah.
It's a real, like, you and I aren't so different.
Yeah.
You committed accidental murder. I got women troubles. What are you going to do? On this island, what are you going to do?
Jack, it really is a blemish on what was otherwise a pretty good episode.
Yeah, a pretty good episode.
And it's a hilarious, crazy line.
It's not an episode of Lost if there aren't at least 1 or 2 lines that make you go, hey, hold on a second.
Yeah, what did I just hear?
Did I just hear the actors on the television show Lost deliver the line, because you've got murder in your heart?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I don't have murder in my heart.
I don't have murder in my heart.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
well,
golly gee.
If there's one thing we don't have, it's murder in our hearts.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, you done a murder.
I don't know.
Or are you capable of it?
I feel like maybe... under the right circumstances.
Yeah.
I feel like mostly I want to slink on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
No, honestly, no, I take it all back.
You take it all back?
No murder in this heart.
All right.
Clean heart.
Sounds like something a murderer would say.
I mean... What? What?
Okay, all right. You're getting a little suspicious there, Jimmy. Hey, we're all friends here. We're all friends here.
Oh, sorry. That was just my heart for a second. My heart was acting up a little bit.
Yeah, as it will.
Oh, my God.
I get it. Hey. Was it the murder in your heart?
What?
Oh, boy.
No, yeah, it was, actually. I don't know. This all leaves me very confused.
Listen. At the end of the day, all that really matters is that Lost is sometimes a good, okay television show.
Yeah,
sometimes
this was a good episode.
It was a good episode. I enjoyed it, and I don't think I have much more to say about it.
I'm just going to leave it at the ambiguous state of my heart.
All right. Done.
Oh.
You got it.
Well, this has been the Island Shuffle.
This has been the Island Shuffle.
I've been James.
Thanks for listening. This guy's been James. I've been Bean. And thanks. Hey, like and subscribe. Give us iTunes ratings and stuff.
Give us 5 stars.
5 of them if you got them.
Even if it's out of 10.
Yeah, we only want 5.
We want 5s.
And give us a like our Facebook page if you don't already.
So we'll send you updates about whenever we get a new episode.
Yeah, I took a pic of you yesterday. I might put that on the Facebook page.
Oh, that would look really good.
I think it would.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till I get more pics maybe and upload them all at once.
Yes.
But that's for another day. For now, we say sweet goodbye and our famous catchphrase. Get